How are we all doing? Is anyone
Good.
out there?
How are you guys?
Friday night, Saturday morning. Hey, it's early for me now because the clocks went. Hang on, what is it again?
Spring forward.
Spring ahead.
Forward.
Spring forward.
Don't leap back. Spring forward and fall back. Right?
Fall back.
When do we fall back?
In the fall.
November.
I can't remember.
On what
I don't
date?
Oh,
I just noticed
November.
November, like 1st-ish.
I always know. Yeah, like from November, I can go back to
Yeah.
doing it at like noon. Now I'm back to like 11 o'clock in the morning. So cheers.
Good morning.
It's going to be a great show, as always. Let's get the awful YouTube-y housekeeping thing out of the way, and then we can get going. There you go.
Do all the important things. Keywords.
Yes, like and subscribe. What's the other thing you're supposed to do? The
Bell.
bell. Notification bell. That's it. There you go. That's it.
Do
It's going to be a great show. Rachel's here. Back again. Third time, Rachel? Third time?
Yes.
Third time. Anne's here.
First time.
Anne's in Philly. Anne's in Philly too, right? Anne's in Philly.
First time. I live in New Jersey, but I'm very close to Philly. So if you want to call me Philly, that's fine.
Philly.
I'll just call you Anne.
Philly adjacent.
Emma's here. Thanks for coming on.
Hello.
Best t-shirt of the night.
That's a good one.
Here.
Maybe.
Well, yours I think is better personally, but Mike's is pretty good.
People seem to like the t-shirts. It's like, I don't know. Hey, there we go. There are people watching. There you go.
Oh no.
Oh no! People are watching. Emma, you're in Montreal, right?
Yeah. Yep, got a lot of shows here coming up. It's going to be fun. We got Girls School at the end of the month.
Oh, they're still good live, right? I reckon.
Then
And
we
this
got
is supposed to be
Partisans next month, sorry.
Partisans.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Have you heard
Yeah,
the new
it's the last girls' school tour, I think.
Oh, really? They're just going to do the
They're
festival
playing
things?
here. Yeah, they're playing here March, like near the end of the month too, and I'm considering it.
Yeah, you know what? I saw Girls' School like it was in a weird time period. It's like, I'm going to say like maybe really late 80s, early 90s, like not much was going on. And I saw them in a pub in England. So about like 12 people. But they were amazing. Of course they were, Yeah. I mean, have you heard it's going to be about Girls' School now. Sorry, you've got me going about Girls' School. Have you heard
Everyone get your Girls' School 10 inches out.
I just wondering if anyone's heard the new album and, is it any good?
There's a new album?
Yeah, the new album just came out. It's called, what's it called? What the 45?
No?
Like WTF in a bad font. I'm worried. But apparently it's okay.
It's not as bad as you'd think. That's what they're touring on, so you probably will hear some songs from it.
They'll play like 2 songs from that, right? And then they'll just play all the good ones from 1981, I guess.
Yeah. I should listen to
As
it.
I am Motorhead deficient, I am also Girls' School deficient.
Oh, let's talk about Girls' School after.
I mean, maybe after the show we'll have a
you would like Girls' School.
Yeah, one of the best bands of all time.
Okay.
They're like Motorhead, but women and bands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here they are with Motorhead.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good one.
Shall we start? Shall we get going? All right, we've each got 5 records as usual. We're going to talk about. I'm excited for everyone's picks. There might be more than 20. There's usually more than 20. I've got a couple of spares, like just in case. But let's get going, right? I got something new out of Japan and Korea, which I was going to show like last week, but I felt like I hadn't listened to it enough, and I'm glad I didn't show it last week because I've grown to love this record over the course of this week. It's amazing. I guess the CD came out at the end of last year, and the vinyl just came out. It might be in my top 10 of the year. Wow, so far. It's only March, but it's a great record. And I'm talking about this band. Don't know if anyone's heard them. They've got 1 single out, and this is their first album. It's the Vertigos.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't heard.
Yeah. I mean, okay, let me tell you about the Vertigos. So this is like Juyong. She is the drummer of Scum Raid. If anyone knows Scum Raid, the Korean like crasher crust band, like she's the drummer of that band, but she's formed this like garage punk band called the Vertigos, and they have one 7-inch out on Bass Records. Like Bass is like an independent record store in Tokyo, which puts out records too. The 7-inch is on Bass. They got signed to P-Vine Records for this record. And I'll tell you about P-Vine Records later, because I don't know why or how they got signed to P-Vine Records. P-Vine Records is a huge like label. It might even be a major these days. It might be owned by Universal or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, the Vertigos. It used to be 3 women. Now it's 2 women and 1 guy. He's like hidden behind the Obi, as he should be. There he is. This is amazing. It's like, I don't know. Okay, I have a gripe about the way this record was marketed. I'm not happy with it. So they're like, the thing is like, there's this girl, she's from Korea, she loves Discharge, she loves, Frampted, but she also loves Nikki and the Corvettes, and like, and the tone of it is like very like a surprising like tone. It's not surprising at all, right? That someone would be those, but that's like the way they're kind of like pushing this. Is like, it's not surprising, right? You would like Discharge and you would like Nikki and the Corvettes, right? So anyway, it's garage punk with a bit of like power pop and like kind of raw guitars and great songs. It's amazing.
Are they
Give it a
playing
listen.
around like live shows?
They have been playing out. Yeah, they do play live. I think Juyong still lives in Seoul, but Seoul's pretty near. Just pop over on the plane. Yeah, it's great band. It kind of reminds me of a lot of like the 90s like Japanese garage punk, but like not the stuff that's very like 50s influenced. There was a bit of that in the 90s. It's more like 80s, like, so it's like garage punk with like power pop like undertones to it. So you don't get any wacky like doo-wop covers or like stuff like that on here. It's pretty hard hitting.
Great.
It's amazing. It's honestly, I'm glad I waited a week, because every song is like really, really well written and super catchy. So yeah.
With that comparison, what bands would you be talking about?
I knew someone was going to say that, so I'm prepared to answer that question. Well, I was going to say Super Snaz, but I don't think they're more like hard hitting than that.
Right.
Like they're more punky than Super Snaz. I guess like the first Super Snaz album was more like garagey, and then they went like full on power pop, like the second and third records, right? So I think this band would fit perfectly on this record, which is Chloroform. It's like the
record guy. Yep.
This is like 90s Japanese like garage band, which was also on Bass. Well, it's on Mangrove, which is like owned by Bass Records. So, First Alert, Registrators, all those kind of bands. I think the Vertigos would fit right at home on like this compilation, in the 90s. So that's what we're talking.
Gotcha.
Check it out.
That is right up my alley, and I am very
honestly,
excited.
I think
That's the
anybody
first
that likes
thing you talked
catchy
about.
like garage punk would love this record. And I'm hoping. I don't know if he's like watching, but Tom, General Speech, told me that P-Vine, like even though they're a very big label, they're very easy to deal with, and he might get copies. So keep your eyes out, keep your eyes peeled. Tom might get copies of this. Highly recommended.
Cool.
The Vertigos.
I'm gonna get that.
Get it. It's expensive. Like
As Rachel knows that I'm very like easily persuaded though, because like everything she posts, I'm like, oh, sorry, State Records has all of these. Okay, I'm getting that. I'm ordering that.
Yep, that definitely seems up your alley though.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad I waited because it didn't really hit me too hard on the first listen. But
Yeah.
then as I listened to it, I was like, oh man, these songs are like super catchy and like really well written.
That's cool.
And I forgot to say this. There's one song that's written in the Korean language, and it says a Sanulim cover. I didn't know who like or what Sanulim were. It's like a 70s Korean like hard rock like psychedelic band. So that like kind of led me to that band too. I haven't checked them out yet, but apparently they're kind of a big deal in Korea in the 70s for like hard rock and psychedelic rock. Pretty cool. They did a cover of a old 70s Korean band on this record. There you go.
Yeah, that's always nice. It's always fun to go down those weird rabbit holes of
Yeah, it kind of led me down like a
bands.
Korean like psych rock rabbit hole. You know, it's crazy. Right? Yeah. All right, that's my first pick.
Yeah, I got in a now. I'm like, should I go into my 7-inch boxes now? But there's this really good band that maybe I'll show on a future show called the Foreskins, but not the Foreskins from England. But the Foreskins from New York, also spelled like FOUR skins, and they're almost like a no wavy kind of band. And then yes, I can't remember. See, I would have to like research it and actually like say the names or whatever. But like, they like did a weird cover of like an old Korean like kind of 60s 70s like psych guy. It was kind of, I think, kind of a big deal in Korea. But yeah, I definitely ended up in a weird place from that. Like, and they're not Korean, like they're like they're not Korean heritage or anything like that. They're just like dudes from New York. So
it's funny.
Anyway.
I just
Oh, no, go ahead.
I noticed that they'd like just reissued like the first 3 Sonulim records just recently, which is a good coincidence. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, if you like them.
If I like them, I haven't listened to them yet. So
yeah,
and I don't know how.
Don't buy the record yet.
No,
I'm not going to make the doc. I'll do the Doc Rotten. Doc Rotten test.
You can talk about that. All right.
All right, Rachel, what's your first?
Okay, well, I'm talking now. I'll show my record. I have a record. So this is a band that I saw in Philly like a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. And it was like an amazing experience, like one of those shows that you like remember forever kind of shows, like especially the whole show, but especially them. And so I was like, they're playing a show and it was like in a place that was like way too small for them the next day in New York. And I was like, I'm gonna try to figure out how to go to New York on like a Sunday night to see.
I know
who you're talking about.
Social media.
But, social media.
So yeah, I managed to find a friend who had bought tickets for both that show and the Philly show and decided to go to just the Philly show. And I got on a Greyhound bus and I got on the subway and I went to the show and then I left. I basically was like freaking out because there were supposed to be 4 bands on the show and they added a band on Monday night, 5-band show. And I was like, I have to catch a bus so I can get home at 1 a.m. Like I can't stay, you know. and I basically, that band Blue Anxiety played right before them and I was like they're like, I don't know if you know that band. Like,
You're giving me anxiety. Get off.
They're like, they sound like Cam FDM. They're funny, whatever. I was like, I hate them now because they were, but I didn't miss the band, which is Taqbir.
There you go.
Which yes,
right. Scoots guessed it in the comments.
That's Scoots, yeah. So yeah, Taqbir. I'm pretty sure they live in Spain. Their singer is from Morocco. they're kind of mysterious about what their deal is, which I think is kind of a shtick, but I don't care if a band has a shtick. That's cool. And they're like a super feminist band who sing about what it's like to be a woman in Morocco. So they're like, you can see here, this is I think it's called the Kaaba. It's like the middle of Mecca with like a wrecking ball to it. So it's like, they don't love, Islam. They don't love the like Islamic, government in Morocco as you wouldn't, if you're a woman living there. So, and it's like, and Taqbir means like it's like a it basically means like Allahu Akbar, like it means like glory, like it's a religious militant expression, like it's kind of a battle cry that's religious. And they have a song that's called, where is it? Al Zuki Akbar, which means my ass is the greatest. And it's basically about like, fuck you, I can wear tight pants if I want. Like, don't fucking talk to me. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's gotten like I think they did this tour with Haram. It was just like 4 shows, I guess. They played New York twice, Philly and DC. I'm sure that they'll be back. I mean, these shows were like huge and really, really well received. And yeah, they're just like, you can tell they're influenced by like Riot Girl, but like they're like, I don't know, I'm so bad at explaining music, but they're like really catchy and really like hard edged and punk, like much more like when they played with Haram, I was like, Haram is much more like on the hardcore side of things, and Taqbir is much more like punk, and yeah, I just I really love this band. And they all wear masks, like they're semi, like I think they have posted pictures of their actual faces on social media, but semi like anonymous. When they play, they don't, like see them, they like sneak off and put on their masks and go up and play. And I do like, I think that like I've heard rumors that that some of the members are in now I'm forgetting the name of the band. Prison Affair, that band from Spain. And there's that other band, the Oi band, that just toured with them. I'm blanking out on their name. I've heard rumors that they share members, and they did that tour, like in the US, started right after the Taqbir tour. So I don't know if that's why that's a rumor or if that's proof. But in any case, this is a really, really great record and really inspiring, like cool thing.
I hope they do another record or an LP, like one of these like modern day LPs that's like 14 minutes long. One of those, that'd be great.
Yeah, they definitely have. They have, like, I was like, do they have more than 4 songs? They do. Like, I mean, it wasn't that many more. It was maybe 8, but they have enough songs for a whole LP now. I think 45 12-inch.
Yeah, that whole like the whole mask thing. I was like, are they really from Morocco? There was that thing. Are they really from Morocco? Is it like guys from other bands on La Vida and Must like doing like some side project kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, the singer is really from Morocco.
Right.
But whether anybody else is, I'm not sure. Some are
Spanish,
all of them.
right? Like you were saying, Spanish.
Yeah, they're Spanish. Like I'm like pretty sure that they all live in Spain currently.
Right.
Whether they're all originally from there, besides the singer, I don't know.
Was that tour like? Because it just seemed to like suddenly appear, like out of nowhere, kind of thing. I mean, everyone was like, "Well, Taqbir are playing tomorrow. I'm going to go," kind of thing, as if nobody knew that they were coming, kind of thing. Was that the case? I don't know. No,
I just didn't know I was going to want to see him that bad. Okay. I didn't know that the final show of the tour was like semi-secret.
Okay.
Like the first 3 shows were like quite well publicized, well ahead of time.
Okay.
But the New York show, first of all, it was like a place that held like 150 people. Whereas they played at the church in Philly, which holds like 500,
Oh wow.
and sold it out. So like it sold out like really fast, and it was not. It wasn't super well publicized. And I also just was like, I really wanted to see them, but I didn't know that I was going to want to see them enough to go to New York on a weeknight. Like
On the bus.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you came back the same night, right?
Yep. On the bus.
Amazing. That's an amazing 7-inch. I was like, I wanted to kind of ask Paco like more about it, but I was like, I think I just like it the way it is, like not knowing too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fine to have mystique.
Yeah.
We'll need to like go digging.
No. Beautiful. And like I said, I hope they put out another record like sooner than later. All right, Anne, what's your first pick?
My first pick, well, anybody who knows me from Facebook and all that knows that I like to do this thing called Listen Wear, and I haven't been doing it because I ran out of shirts because I did like 1,000. But anyway, so my first one is gonna go with this T-shirt. So let me grab my record. Okay, so all right, this shirt. All right, let me get my hair out of the way. This band is called M.A.Z.E. Okay, wait. Let me get the angle there. M.A.Z.E. And the shirt goes with the thing. M.A.Z.E. Listen Wear. And this band is from Japan.
I thought they were.
Yes, Japan. I didn't really pick it because you're in Japan, but I just picked it because it's awesome. So so M.A.Z.E. This is called M.A.Z.E. 2, their second record, and it's on Lumpy Records. And it came out in 2021. I just discovered them probably like maybe about a year later. All right, I don't have to hold this up anymore though. But I'll just put it here. You know what? I'll put it right there.
Oh, beautiful. There you go.
All right.
Nice.
Oh my God, I knocked down my lamp. So this shirt is really cool. It has like a little bat on it. And so anyway, so M.A.Z.E. This record is 15 minutes long. Perfect. 9 songs, 15 minutes. And if you look, I love looking at the bottom of Bandcamp for bands to see how they like funny things that they describe themselves as. Because sometimes it's like completely wrong. Like it says like St. Louis. Like what is that? What is that? What is that? But anyway, they describe themselves as nuclear pop. But that's completely wrong. But I mean, they might be. I don't know what nuclear pop is, but I'm calling them post-punk punk. I just coined that phrase, post-punk punk. I don't know what it means.
Like harder edge, like harder edge,
right?
Post-punk.
It's like post-punk punk. Yeah, it's like there's kind of screamy vocals, maybe a tiny bit Kleenex-esque, maybe like little like this much. Screamy vocals. Devo sometimes esque, weird, quirky, punk, but new wave, but post punk, but awesome, and I love it. And,
like super lo-fi, right?
Like not quite lo-fi though, like in the sense of like when we think of like garage as lo-fi, or like what you were talking about, like that the 90s, like Guitar Wolf lo-fi, not like that. It's little more like crystalline, if that makes
like
sense.
Indie pop lo-fi kind of.
It actually sounds like it was recorded really crappy in at least the tape that I have.
Recorded crappy. I don't know.
maybe this record sounds different. I haven't heard the record.
I don't think it's that lo-fi. I mean, maybe their first record was more lo-fi, and then this one, I think they might have like cleaned that up a little bit. It also probably can maybe fall into what people are calling like egg punk these days.
Yeah, here we go.
I've been listening to a lot of I've been listening to a lot of egg punk. If that's real or not, I don't care, because I love all of it. Every single thing that is described as egg punk is totally awesome, in my opinion. So
if it's real.
If this is egg punk, then I like it. I'm okay with it. So, you want to call it weird punk, quirky punk, since it's just great. And like I said, listen where, yay. And I don't know if they're doing it. I don't know if they've done anything since this. This has been a few years. But I think it's wonderful and I love it.
I think they're a younger band, I think, right?
Yeah, yes. Seems
Maybe
so.
like Milk, like those kind of younger guys that are like not really part of the hardcore scene. They've got their own kind of scene with like bands and
Yeah,
like
yes.
like
Yes.
I feel that they've been to Osaka a few times at least. I've seen them on flyers and stuff.
Yeah, and I think they're still around and like playing, but I don't know if they've like released. I don't think they've released anything since this. And I mean, I loved it so much that I ordered like a T-shirt and a record from their Bandcamp from Japan because
That must have cost
for them.
a few yen.
I mean, it's for my craft. Listen where, very important. And
That's
also, I support the band.
I don't know if anybody caught that at the beginning. Like Anne did 1,000 like T-shirts and record. Like
Yeah, I may have been like 980 or something. So people who are out there like going to check, don't like bust me. It might not have been
about
1,000.
1,000.
It was a lot. Around 1,000.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I have a M.A.Z.E T-shirt too. I
Wow.
almost like I could have worn it today, but I didn't. It's great. It says ACAB and it has like a cartoon pig being attacked by bees.
That's hilarious.
It's Lumpy Records. It's Lumpy Records, a Japanese label. It's an American.
New York City.
New
Lumpy
York.
and the Dumpers.
You know what? I was thinking Lumpy. When you said Lumpy, I immediately thought Lumpy and the Dumpers.
And why didn't we
That was
talk
like
about
the
Lumpy
origin
and
of
the Dumpers
Yeah.
in that conversation we were having about the and bands? We forgot about Lumpy and the Dumpers.
Oh,
Before Egg Punk was called Egg Punks, I would be like, that Lumpy and the Dumpers type music. Like that was my description for that scene and then someone called it Egg Punk and I was like, okay, Egg Punk.
I almost had Lumpy and the Dumpers in my stack today. I haven't. Don't worry. That's a great pick. M.A.Z.E from Japan. I think they're a Tokyo band. I think not from Osaka. Tokyo band. I think.
That part I do not know.
I think so.
Yay!
That's a great first pick. All right, Emma, what's your first pick?
My first pick will be the English Dogs Invasion of Porcupine.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
This one's good. It's a repress. It also has Mad Punks on it.
It does.
And it's nice red vinyl, which, everyone loves a nice colored vinyl. I don't have much to say about it. I love the English Dogs. I love this vinyl. Pretty classic. Some good tunes on there. And, I don't know what else to say about it. It's good. I like listening.
Do we like the punk era English Dogs, or do we like the metal era English Dogs? I'm a metal English dog.
I like both. Very much both. Very much. Punk and metal are my two favorites, so I can't choose really.
I always thought like the punk stuff was like not it's good, but it's like not great. Whereas when they went like
it's like funny punk
it's kind of a little bit goofy. Whereas when they went more metal, I thought they were really good at what they did when they went that way.
Oh, for sure. I have what's that really good metal one they do there? I have it on vinyl. The name escapes me.
Oh God, me too. What?
Forward into Battle. I really like. I could have chosen that one, but then this repress is awesome because it has the Mad Punks on it.
What's that 12-inch EP?
To the End of the Earth, is it? Yeah, that one's extremely metal. Yes. It's very good.
So apparently, like I don't know, like I was talking about like the color I chose for this, like the thumbnail was like Death Side Blue. So I heard this from the man himself. Like apparently, like Chelsea from Death Side, like those metal like era English Dogs records, he called them his riff Bible.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, he stole a lot of licks from those like English Dogs records. He told me so. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
So unlike a lot of those other bands that were good at the beginning as punk and got bad when they went metalish, these guys are the opposite, because they were kind of like silly, like almost like not punk wasn't really their real thing. They were sort of like jumping on the bandwagon, and then they were like, let's just be ourselves.
I don't know. Didn't they have like a big like lineup change? Different singers, different guitar players along the way.
I think so.
They had the guy from the Prodigy in them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I love that. That's a Radiation Reissues thing, right? That just came out, I think. Is that right?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I should have done this before.
I'm just guessing that it is.
I can't actually read the print's too small. I'll send it to you later.
Need reading glasses. I thought about reading glasses.
I think it is, because I just saw that they had been reissued on Radiation, so I think it's a Radiation.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've had it for probably 4 years,
right.
So I don't know how soon
All right,
how I can. Maybe you can read this, but I can't.
Then it's a little bit of a no.
At the bottom there.
That's man, my eyes are probably that's a back on black.
Sorry, I'll send it to you later.
I think that's a back on black.
I'll send it to you.
PhD. I saw the PhD, the plastic head.
Oh, it's a gatefold too. Fun. Forget these things. Love gatefolds.
I think that actually is true. That there were 2 versions of the English dogs going at one point.
Right, they played Montreal years ago. It was super fun. One version, I guess, and they played Forward into Battle in its entirety. It was a very good show.
Nice.
That was a while ago.
Classic.
So that's all I have to say about it. Like it. It's good.
We love the English dogs. I love the English dogs. I don't know. Yeah.
That was like a fun,
I hope so.
like mix of totally 4 different kinds of things, sort of.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm going way out there for my next pick. Brace yourselves.
Yay.
So, I've got a question for everyone watching and everyone on the panel tonight. Has anybody ever been a member of the Process Church of the Final Judgment?
Oh, I know what this is.
I thought you might.
It's Sabbath.
Nobody has been a member of said cult. There was a documentary about them.
No.
I mean, yeah.
I don't.
Rachel,
of any before cult, we give the maybe you can tell more about the actual cult. I didn't look up the cult too much, but I do know that their creed was the idea that Christ, Lucifer, Satan, and Jehovah were the 4 main aspects of the human personality.
Yeah, they're very Christian based. They weren't Christian, but they were based in Christian lore. One of the dudes from Integrity is really into Process Church.
Really?
I believe. But I don't know a ton about them. I know they're a medium bad. They weren't the worst cult in the world.
They were kind of a spin-off from another one, right? The Scientologists. They were kind of a spin-off group, a side project of the Scientologists.
Scientologists? I don't know about that, but I do know that they morphed into an animal rescue, the Best Friends Animal Rescue.
I did see that, and I was like, okay, I've got all this information about this cult. I'm not going to say all of it, because if you want to look it up, check it out. There's a ton of information out there about this, and there's a documentary that George Clinton is in, and I don't know, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know why he's in it. Is he a member? Is he just interested in it? Was he asked to present it? I don't know why George Clinton is in that documentary. Anyway, why are we talking about the Process Church, the Final Judgment? Because this band decided to here's the record. Here we go.
Yes, I love this band.
It's the Sabbath Assembly, which I think a lot of people thought, it's going to be a kind of Black Sabbath kind, because this kind of music, the retro, it's 70s heavy rock, was real big at this time, right? So I think a lot of people were thinking we're going to get a Black Sabbath, it's not. So it's Restored to One, Sabbath Assembly. I guess what they did is they took all the words of all the hymns from this cult and made songs out of them, right? That's what they did.
I think the music too. Yeah. I think the music is based somewhat on the actual, I've listened to a lot of music made by cults, and they by far have the best music. I don't know if any of it's recorded by them, but it's great. Like,
That's amazing. So I did look it up a bit, and I got like mixed like opinions of it. Like the words are hymns from the cult, and the music is their own, but the music is also the cult's, not the cult. This cult's music, and they did their own versions of those songs or hymns or whatever you want
yeah,
to call
I
it.
mean, I think they like. I don't think it's entirely whole cloth written. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I think that it is based in to some extent, like some songs, some albums more than others, like on the music.
Yeah,
That
and
sounds
I guess
that
everyone wants to know. People want to know what it sounds like. I mean, it's like I don't know, Black Widow, Coven. I don't know, like a bit. I mean, even a little bit of like Jefferson Airplane, a little bit, but it's got this like real creepy, like sinister atmosphere to the whole thing.
yeah, it's a little like the first time I was on the show, I talked about Comus.
Yes, yeah,
Like extremely freaky, dark folk music, like really aggressive, dark, evil folk music. It's a little bit like that.
the atmosphere is like that too, right? This
The
kind of
atmosphere for
unsettling,
sure.
sinister, like Wicker Man, like Wicker Man
Yeah.
soundtrack, pagan, like kind of thing. It's such a good record, and I was surprised that like it came out in 2010. It felt like more recent to me. It's quite a long time ago, right? 2010, but it's like, but they have a bunch of records after this that I don't like as much, and I don't like them as much because they lost the singer, right? Jex Thoth, who is amazing. She has an amazing voice, and I don't know if you've heard the band Jex Thoth, who are like a heavy, like Jex Thoth are amazing. It's like her other band. It's like psychedelic doom, and they have a few records out. But like, so check out Jex Thoth too. They're amazing. But yeah, great record. It sounds like it was made in like 1971 or 72, but it's
Yeah, it's really good.
2010. Yeah.
It actually go ahead.
No, go ahead.
One of the things that reminds me of most of all, this is a reference I don't know if anyone will understand, but the Cowsills, the band The Rain in the Park and other things, the song I Love the Flower Girl, that band, they put out a song about the apocalypse called the Gospel of John. I can't remember what it's called anymore, but anyway, it's but yeah, it's like kind of like soft rock 70s like choral apocalypse. And it's like it's them like chanting like 666 is the number of the beast and all this shit.
Yeah,
Like it's like with but like beautiful like harmonies, and it's heavier. Like Sabbath Assembly is heavier than that, but it has like this similar feeling of like maybe you are in like a freaky cult in the 70s.
Yeah.
And like
just
Yeah,
the
it's like
design
the prophecy of John.
What's that?
The prophecy of John.
Of Daniel. Yeah.
Divine.
And St. John the Divine or something like that. Yeah.
Great record. It's kind of modern day classic. Like, glory to the gods in the highest, and the phoenix is reborn. The time of Abaddon is the closing track.
Yeah.
There's one annoying thing about this record. If anyone has this record, it's like the jacket is like 3 millimeters bigger than any other like record that I have. So it's got like chafing at the top because it's like slightly too big. I don't know why they did that. They did it on purpose, I think.
Record logistics.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare for me too, for one of my records that I sell, that I love, but I also sell. And when I have it like in the box, it doesn't fit in a sleeve, and I can't put the little sticker price on it. And it's like,
it's like I'm being controlled by this cult. Yeah, great record. So check out this one. I don't personally like any of the records after it. This one, and then like Jex Thoth, which is like her other band, is amazing too. So,
and it has like, doesn't it have like Psychic TV connection or something, or is it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and then there was some confusion about that. People thought it was a joke. People thought that like there's all sorts of weird information about this record out there, and I don't know which is true and which isn't. So, yeah. There's a massive interview as well with them about how they like found all these like like hymn books and stuff too, and that's how they got the idea for the record and stuff. Yeah. All right. Rachel, what's your
All right. Next. This is another one that if you are aware of my internet presence, you might be spoilered on it. Because I was saying this on the internet. I'll say it here as well, also on the internet, that I do a radio show.
What's it called?
And, it's called Uneasy Listening. It's on
Same as Jim
WPRG.
Martin's show.
Yes, Jim Martin named his show after my show. But anyway, so doing a radio show, I like very often just listen to things, pick the song I'm going to play, file it. Like I don't have time, like the time I used to have to just like sit and listen to records over and over and over again. And I kind of miss that experience. And for a show like this, it does like I wish I was like more familiar with the records I've been listening to recently. Because a lot of times I've listened to them once, or I've listened to them like streaming, and then when I got the record, whatever. But this record, I actually listened to the first song off of it when it like was released. It was like released in advance of the rest of the record. And then I was like, I'm going to wait till I actually have the record to listen to this. And then I got the record and I listened to it, and I haven't stopped listening to it since I got it like a week and a half ago. I mean, I have stopped listening to it, but I have kept listening to it. I've listened to other things too. But anyway, this is a French band. This is their second record. Their first record was like punker than this one. This one has a more polished sound to it, especially the kind of single song. But Savannah, they're from Toulouse. They're called Radical Kitten.
Oh.
This is I influenced on Anne to get this record.
I'm going to get that for sure. I have not yet.
Yeah. It got kind of bent, but anyway, it's they're from Toulouse. And I think there's like 3 members. They changed drummers in between their records. But yeah, it also has like they're like explicitly influenced by Riot Girl. They're also like I think quite young, like probably in their 20s. And yeah, it's very like kind of like upbeat, simple, like catchy, but like very, very angry. And also like super feminist. And yeah, and it's on like 500 labels.
Oh,
like
one of those, eh?
Yeah. I don't know why they can't find one label to put out their, like they would pay for a whole record. But their last record was like this too. It's like on literally like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Is
5.
there one that's like a bit more
14 labels.
well known than the others?
What's that?
Is there a label that's like a little bit more well known than the others, or?
I mean, I know Hidden Bay, but I don't know if people know that out of Toulouse. They mostly put out cassettes. And they're in the kind of indie pop realm.
Okay.
And this is definitely veers between kind of slick, poppier stuff and stuff that is more like aggressive sounding, but not that, it's still like it's punker, but it's not like heavy, but yeah, I don't know any of these labels. Like I can't even read some of them. Tama Court. It looks like COOLRX or T. There's just a picture of Stonehenge.
That's probably Stonehenge Records.
Is it Stonehenge Records? I need my reading glasses. Contrast La Lucha par les cornes. I don't know. But anyway, it's a really good record. Yes, that's right. And yeah, it's on regular black vinyl. I actually prefer to get records on black vinyl.
Me too.
Again, for DJ reasons.
Why? I love all the colors.
For me, it depends what the genre is. What the genre is. I don't want like certain kinds of records to be on splatter vinyl. Other ones, I'm all in.
As long as if it's transparent, I cannot deal with it because I can't see where the songs begin and end. for when I'm playing them. But I can deal with colored vinyl other than that. But yeah, no see-through, please.
There's another French band I'm excited about who are about to put a new record out. Queer.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I heard
Love
like
it.
I just was listening to the advanced songs from that.
Oh, really? Is it good?
Yeah, they're good.
I'm so excited for that. Like, it took me ages to get the first one. I haven't got the demos one yet either.
Yeah,
It took me so long to get that. I know it's not going to be easy to get the new one too, but I will get it. God damn it, because I love
they
that
put out
band.
like a cassette, like an advanced cassette, but it sold out like
Oh yeah.
instantly. Yeah.
Emma, aren't they playing up Vining in Montreal this year?
They played last year, actually.
Last year, okay.
Yeah. They played last September.
Were they? I bet they were amazing.
I actually didn't go that night.
They play
the Saturday, but I missed them on the Friday.
Yeah.
Just think how hot it would be to play a live show.
They all wear like the what do you call those masks? There's a word for them.
Gimp mask, I guess, kind of. Gimpy mask.
Yeah, gimp mask.
Pink gimp masks.
Yeah. I heard it was good. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it was a great show." But
they're so good. But queer means leather, right? In French, apparently.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. All right, Anne, it's your turn, right?
All right. Here we go. Let me pull another record from the stack. Now, I do actually have a T-shirt of this band, but I couldn't find it because there's like piles and piles and piles.
There's 1,000 T-shirts, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not doing I can't do everything costume change, but we're going to pretend that these are little rat ears, although they're actually from Great Wolf Lodge. But they've become rat ears today. They were chipmunk ears for Alyssa Ware about a year ago. Today they're rats. So today, this band, oops, I can't figure out how to show the record right. With this very, very silly, weird looking cover is Ratas and Zelo. Oh man, I really can't. I'm not. Oh, there you go. I'm holding it better now. Okay, look at that crazy, silly cover. But oh my gosh, this record is really, really great. And the band is from New York City, and they are very young people, and they're current, and they were actually their second album's coming out like right now. They're like doing like this little crowdsourcing kind of scene to get some money, but they are an accordion punk band. So instead of a guitar, they have an accordion player, and it is amazing. And they're like 4 like awesome young women, and they sing in Spanish almost always. Once in a while, there's like maybe one song in English and then a couple of English words thrown in. Oh, look, see, now we're gonna move this down, and now this is gonna go
a system
here.
in place here now.
I don't really have a system, but and then also like if one thing I should have shown you before we go on, like it's like in here there was like this sistema is like the diaper, that's the system. And revolution and like innocencia, and then the conscience is inside the bottle. But anyway, they kind of are like, they're like punk, and they have an accordion, and they're, like I said, they sing in Spanish, and they're, instead of saying like oi oi oi, they say eek eek eek, and they're really committed to their little rat situation, like a rat has a Zelo, and
this sounds amazing.
It means like rats in heat, I guess. Ratas and Zelo, and so they spend a lot of time going eek 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 eek, and they're awesome. And their new song debuted actually like yesterday, and it's called Jesus. And it's about like praise and hail to Jesus, and it's very funny and cute and wonderful. And I don't know what else to say because that probably says it all, right?
I mean, I'm sold. Where can I get a copy?
So that album, I don't know if you're going to be able to find anymore because like it's probably gone by now, but you can pre-order their new one or wait until the new one comes out, because the pre-order is kind of like one of those like it's like a Rata pack where you get a whole bunch of different things, like the record and a tote bag and a t-shirt and all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you want to do that, you can, but I'm sure that once that pre-order is done, they'll actually just have the record for sale as well on their Bandcamp. But Jesus checked out their newest song, and this is their first album, and they're current. They are playing with Taqbir. I don't know if I'm saying their name right.
Yes.
They're playing with them in New York in like 2 weeks, and I think they played with them once before already when because they toured like a few months ago.
That band, man, I'm Japanese, I can't even say it. Vida. They're just down the road in Kyoto. They're getting huge. They're really blowing.
Yeah. They jumped like super from the last time to now to where they played in Philly.
They're playing at the Glastonbury Festival this year.
So Ratas and Zelo, check them out. Really fun, and they're really committed to the rat thing.
Did we say what label it was on?
They self-released.
Self-released.
Yeah, I don't know if the label even like has a name.
It's got to be rap-based, right? The name.
It just says the band's name, and also their names are like Rata Cantante, Rata Accordionista, Rata Batera. There's no label. It's just their own scene, man.
Wow, sounds great.
Yeah. I'm keeping the ears on for a little while too.
You keep them on as long as you want.
That Jesus thing makes me think. I was just looking today at the that band Death Culture Deprivation. They have like a new record out on Phobia Records, and they have a song called Fuctory. I haven't listened to it yet, but I just noticed that.
I wonder if they make Jesus in the factory. Ooh. Emma, second round.
There's a lot going on here with the Sabbath and the Hail Jesus.
Is that what I think? That's trouble.
Kind of got too much lyrics of trouble. I can't get enough of these guys. Can't get enough. My boyfriend introduced me to them and bought me a couple records, and I just listen to it almost every day. Can't get enough of it. This one and Manic Frustration, I just can't get enough. He sings a bit about the Lord that I find a little weird, so I change it in my head when it's going on.
Jesus.
He never says Jesus, but he says Lord stuff, which I find very
They were a Christian band, I believe. Yeah.
Really? No.
Yeah.
You're just ruining
Wait, what is this band?
Trouble.
They're from the States. I can't remember where.
The singer Eric Wagner passed away. Like, he died of COVID, right?
Yeah, he didn't believe in it or something. But anyhow,
actually, the story is he kind of did, but it was Wino from The Obsessed, who's the anti-vaxxer guy.
Really?
And, like, kind of made everyone go on tour, and they all got sick, and then Eric Wagner from Trouble passed away from that tour. Yeah, that record.
Really like the record. It's really good.
It's amazing. Like, that is the best. Like, that's the best Trouble record in my opinion. Some people prefer like the first or second, like the earlier ones. That one is where like they signed to Def Jam, right? It's like Rick Rubin is in there, and like
the guitars are just amazing in that. It's just
it's like one of the best.
Good. Can't get enough. So good.
Is that a reissue? Is that been reissued? Because
I wish I could tell you if I could read things.
No, I just know that like originals for some reason like are super expensive now. Like the original.
Yeah, this one my boyfriend was very lucky and got for $20 for me.
There you go. It's good to hear that actually finally being like reissued because it needed a reissue, right? So
yeah, I can't read that little reissue thing record label, but I'll send it to you and you can. But yeah, it's so good. Can't get enough.
That's a
Christian band, really?
Yep.
Not like proselytizing Christian, really. You know, they seem like okay for Christians. People wise.
I don't know. Well, they play good music though, so at least there's that.
Yeah, that Trouble is the self-titled Trouble LP. Well, it's the second self-titled because the first one is also self-titled, but it's like they have another name for it too. But like, classic.
Yeah, we're lucky when I worked at Catacombs. The Skull played for a Wings of Metal festival, and that was pretty good.
That Skull LP is good too, right? The Skull record.
Yeah, it is.
It's basically like Trouble with a different name, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Very good.
Wow.
Yeah, what was that? Was that like was there some like, was it because there wasn't a certain member in the band, or was there some conflict over the name or something? Like, how did the Skull come
My
about?
boyfriend told me a story, but of course I forget. But
yeah,
I can go ask him right now. But yeah, I think it was a weird. I think a label, something can't remember exactly the story, but
yeah, I
there's
can't remember
definitely
either.
a conflict, and they have to change the name. I'm sure someone on here knows. Type it out. What was the reason? Someone knows.
Yeah, why is it Trouble?
I have
What
to
is
step
the
away for
history
2
of-
seconds.
Oh, is it
wait?
costume
wait?
change time?
Should
Or?
we wait? Yeah, oh, it is right. It's a costume change.
Should I go change into my main shirt?
Yeah, I love that Trouble record too. It's like it's my personal favorite. Although, what's the next one? Manic
Frustration. I love it. It's so
Frustration.
good.
That's a
It's
good
so
one too.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Right. God, it's my turn again.
Those guitars. Cheers.
Cheers.
To Saturday morning, Friday nights. Well, that's all I can say about the Trouble. Is very good. So
it's very good. It's great. It's more than very good. It's amazing. Yeah. It's a classic.
Yeah, I've never listened to the later ones. I have the one with the tree. You know,
That's like that's the first one.
Like the first
Psalm
one,
9, right?
yeah, it's very good.
Psalm 9. The hint is staring you right in the face.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
their first record.
Oh, very good.
But like it's called like Trouble and then it's called Psalm 9. There's like it has like different names.
Yeah.
Let me take you back to 1986. I was living in England. Weird era for me. I kind of like, what was I doing? I didn't have a job. I was like living in a kind of squat like house. I couldn't really buy any records, but I had a couple of friends who were able to buy records because they had jobs. And those two guys loved Husker Du. Like they were Husker Du super fans, right? And so they'd gotten to the point where they were kind of starting to look for bands that they thought might sound like Husker Du. And that was kind of a bit of a thing around that time. It was like, we love Husker Du. Are there any other bands that kind of sound like Husker Du? So, I would help them out too. And like, I would get stuff on tape and like, I'd play it to them and they were like, oh, this is great. This sucks, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it even went as far as to like early REM. They would go as far as like early REM is like close enough to Husker Du. Not for me, but for these two guys, it was like, it's close enough. It's close enough. And like, the Replacements, that's another obvious one, right? But I had two that I kind of discovered from tape trading that at the time I liked better than the Husker Du that I'd heard. But these guys like loved Husker Du so much, I was scared to tell them that I liked these two records more than the Husker Du record. So one of them was Moving Targets, Burning in Water, which is like a classic. And then there's one more, which I you know what? I'm not scared now. I'm going to say it. I think this record is better than any Husker Du record. It might be a really, really hot take, but I'm saying it. I'm not 17 years old anymore. I'm a grown up. I'm not afraid. Can anyone guess what it is? It came out in 1986. Kentucky, Louisville.
Oh, I know. Wait, I can't remember the name. Not Rifle Sport, but something like that. Celibate Rifles.
They're from Australia.
Kill this animal with a rifle.
Squirrel bait. I don't know where. Yeah.
Squirrel bait.
Yeah.
So
Skag
great.
Heaven. Oh, Jesus Christ. it's one of these records that I don't know. Like, I don't. It's like the lip cream record. I don't have enough good words in my vocabulary to describe it properly as I
That's
want
a hard
to.
one.
It's a hard one, but they were still teenagers. Well, still in high school, right, when they made this record. They put out like one record before this, which is also really, really good. But this one, I mean, I don't know. It's like if early Soul Asylum was like a punk band. It's like way more like aggressive and faster, more energy to it than any of those other bands that I was like told sounded like Husker Du. The vocals are the raspiest of the raspy, like the vocals are amazing. The drummer's like John Bonhaming it all over the place. He's going wild. The guitar tone is amazing. Production is terrible. It's absolutely awful. It's just got that horrible like 80s sound of the time. But yeah, classic like melodic Husker Du-ish punk, because people would call this band like an indie rock band, but they're not. They're a punk band to me. Maybe even hardcore. Actually, it's like melodic hardcore almost. There you go. Paul, I knew that there would be a couple of people that.
But I think of them as like a college radio station band,
right?
Like sure. That's how I was introduced to them.
Right.
From
I think it's because
WNYU or something like that.
I think it's because they were on Homestead Records. They kind of got lumped in with all the other like Volcano Sounds and all the other kind of like softer bands. This is kind of pretty like hard hitting like record, But yeah, I think they would have done better like being on another label, like not Homestead. But yeah, this is an all timer for me. Squirrel Bait, Skag Heaven. And of course, it's got like the Phil Ox cover on it, which when I was like young, I had no idea what that was. Who's Phil Ox? It's Tape from California, right? They cover that, which I thought was pretty amazing for like really young kids in like Kentucky to cover a Phil Ox song at that time.
Yeah, and especially that song. It's not like they covered like I Ain't Martian Anymore or something really,
Is it a deep cut? Is it like a Phil Ox deep
Yeah.
cut? Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. What is that on the cover? No idea, Paul. It's kind of fish shaped.
It's like a fish.
It's fish shaped and a fish. On there.
Is it a lure, maybe? Like
Is the lure for a squirrel?
It's kind of a mechanical fish, a fish car.
A fish or a plane, all in the same. I don't know.
I've never thought about it before. It does. I was always just like, it's a fish.
It's a fish.
But it's kind of like a fish bird.
Fish.
I don't know what it is.
It has like a license plate on there. It's a fish with a license plate on it. That's like an all-time like top tenor for me.
So great.
Yeah, love it.
Someone wants to know if they're Christian too. Yes, Andrew Orlando. Hello. Yes, Crucial Chaos is. I'm not sure if actually I heard Squirrel Bait on Crucial Chaos, but I definitely heard it on NYU. But maybe I used to tape Crucial Chaos. It was like on I think Thursday nights, and I would that was like the hardcore show. And I still have like a bunch of tapes from that time.
What station?
It was WNYU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's like I said, I think it was Thursday nights, Crucial Chaos. Apparently I didn't know how to spell that because of all my tapes. I'd spelled it like Crucial Chaos with K's, like crucial, KAOS. But I thought that seemed like
a punk way to spell it.
Right? Yeah. Totally should have. And like the DJ, her name was Spermicide, and she was really awesome. And it was like cool also that there was a woman hardcore DJ then, Spermicide. I mean, what a great name. So anyway. Sorry, sidebar.
I forgot to mention that they did, right? It was like pre-Slint.
Slint, yeah.
Yeah, which let's move on.
Speaking of college rock, the college radio hits of my teen years as opposed to you guys is
as old people.
Yeah. So, okay, let me take you back to 1981,
Oh,
Philadelphia. But first, we're going to take a little detour to Toronto.
okay.
Because I thought about this. I don't know if it was, I don't know when it was, like at some point on this show or whatever you call it.
Whatever you call it.
Someone put this record.
Oh,
From Toronto. I think
someone mentioned that. Was it last week? Someone recommended that or something?
It might have been. It was recently, pretty recently.
In relation to another band. So, well, if you like that, you're like.
Was it when Daniel was showing like 800 records to get to the record he was actually going to talk about? But yeah, so this, I think it was Sorry State posted this, and I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh my god, someone reissued the Head Cheese record, and I bought it, and then I was like, wait, this is like a new hardcore band. It's not Head Cheese. Do you know? Anne, do you know?
Neon Taste Records, right?
Yeah. This is on Neon Taste.
Yeah. Paul talked about it off air. I get confused.
Yeah, same label as Chain Web. It's really good record, but it wasn't what. So I just saw it, and I saw like blue and white cover, and the name Head Cheese, and I was like, oh my god, it's Head Cheese from Philadelphia from 1981. With Susan Ottaviani from Book of Love. This is like a fucking amazing, like art school weirdo punk record from Philly. It's like if you have, I don't know if anybody knows Book of Love, like the kind of big new wave band, but they were like a quite big, like a fairly big new wave band who covered Kleenex.
Oh.
Like
they're very like Philly. Like Philly is like total. You know, like if you're from Philly, you know them from that time.
Yeah, they're one of those kind of bands.
Yeah.
But yeah, Head Cheese is like when some of the members were in art school and they put out this like if anybody's ever heard like the Ganilla mixtapes, which are these like really good. They're a little bit like that like 12 disc female fronted punk compilation that was put together by the internet, but it's like one of those internet MP3 compilations, and it's all this kind of like 1981 women singing no wave post punk UK DIY that kind of stuff. And yeah, the like the big hit song, there's this like unbelievably art school video of it, and it's called Jungle Jam. Bill Haas told me he stole it from a radio station where his band played like in the 80s. And it's all like, Philly is a jungle. It's a jungle. And it's all like, you know, like lady threw her baby in the toilet and blah blah. Like it's all like hardcore living in Philly in 1981. And like it's real, and it's all like bloop, 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 like you know, it's like real artsy post-punky, no wavy kind of thing. And the video is just like, it's like illustrating all the things that are happening in the song, and like it's like the most art school thing that ever arted. Which Head Cheese though, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah.
And but yeah, it's really good record. And then like the B-side is like a kind of weird noise jam, and then like a fairly straightforward like poppy punk, not pop punk, but like catchy punk song. So yeah, I really love this band. I'm like, I try really hard with Philly. I want to be like a booster of Philly bands, but I'm not that into a lot of the big Philly bands. But I love Head Cheese, and I'm so glad that they.
What's like a classic hardcore band from Philly? Like
Why Die? FOD.
Okay. FOD was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. Babies?
What's that?
Pagan Babies.
Oh yeah, Pagan Babies. What's that band? I'm not gonna be able to. Oh, Ruin. Yeah,
I love Flag of Democracy.
There's weirdly not that many considering what a big city it is, you know? When you think about how many classic bands there were from New York, you would think there would be like, I don't know, maybe a third that many or something like that. But there aren't.
All right.
Anyway, sorry, Phil. You
All right, I'm gonna take my. Oh no, I like keeping. I'm gonna keep mine.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
They're no longer relevant, but I don't care.
No longer relevant.
Okay, now I also have a T-shirt of this band, but again, too far buried into something. So now I did some newer things. Now I'm going to a little bit old. I
Ooh.
can't get this right. I have to stand up to do this. Okay, this is the amazing fifth column from Toronto. You mentioned Toronto, so I figured I'd pull that one out next. Okay, so fifth column, all-time queen of the world. If you are not familiar with this, well, I'm going to teach everybody all about fifth column today. Oh my gosh, where could I even start with this record? Okay, so first of all, this record came out in 1990 on their own label, Hyde Records. Actually, it was called Hyde Records and Tapes. And the drawing on the cover, if you look at that, so the drawing is by one of the members of the band, the very awesome GB Jones, and she was like a really, really important part of the very beginning of like queer punk scene. And she put out a zine, many zines. One of them was called JD's, and like homocore, that kind of like phrase almost kind of like started from her scene. With she was with like Bruce LaBruce. They put out all these zines and Toronto. And so she did this drawing, and her style is called like Tom Girl. So it's like a kind of takeoff of like Tom of Finland.
I was thinking,
and it's all like queer girl, Tom Girl stuff. Let me move everything down. Sorry, got to put it in the spot. So yeah, so it's like really, really, really awesomely cool. Rachel, do you know this band? Okay, all right, cool. All right, good. Thank goodness, because if you didn't, I was going to be like, you must know them. What to say about it? It's when you look it up, it's like they consider it like post-punk, but I just feel that they're like really hard to define. But I guess you can kind of put them into that category. I just don't even know post-punk. In Kleenex world, comes down from like Kleenex. Lilliput, probably like Family Tree in the sense of that style. And like I said, GB Jones is amazing. Caroline, Beverly, all the band members are awesome. Keyboards, swirling synth, but not synth. Keyboards. Let's call it keyboards, not synth. To differentiate. And just like cool chick, kick ass. There's a documentary about them called She Said Boom. They're like really important. Yes, it's the same fifth column who did the split with God Is My Co-Pilot.
Okay, there you go.
I also love God Is My Co-Pilot. It's almost impossible to find any of their music online anywhere though. So like GB Jones has like a little tiny couple of things on like her YouTube channel, but like there's hardly anything. There's like absolutely nothing except for one song from this album like to find to even try to listen to it. There's more stuff available from their next album, which is called 36C. That's the shirt I have that I don't have on, but it says 3060 and it's fun to wear that. And that has like a song about Donna Dresch, if you guys know who she is. She's like a kick-ass bass player, Team Dresch and all
Team
kinds
Dresch.
of stuff. So she's like part of their crew, and like Leslie from Tribe 8 is part of their crew sometimes. And GB Jones makes lots of movies. They're really cool, fun movies. Not just fun, but like, but she does everything on like Super 8. Is that what that's called? Like Super 8. Not like with the video camera, like not with like a digital. And they're just like, I feel like they're really like unsung and like just, overall like queer punk and women punk and just like like just they were like really important, and I don't think enough people know about them. But probably because like no one can find this record because it was just like released in Canada on their own little label. So, yeah, that's what I have to say.
I know the name, but I don't think I've ever listened to any of the music. But
yeah, the album after this was released on CD. It was a little bit easier to get, and like I said, there's a song about Donna Dresch, and there was a video, and she was in it. So that kind of got like a little bit more like movement with and play action. So, but yeah, they're really cool. So try to what little you can find, try to find it. Yeah, Rachel, do you have any of their stuff? Like, do you?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like impossible.
Like MP3s. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and their first album is called To Sir with Hate. It's like
yeah, I think that's one I have on MPs.
Wow, great picks, man. I can feel my wallet.
Yeah, well, that one's probably gonna be tough to find.
As it does every week, I have to say.
Oh.
Okay, Emma, what you got?
I'll do the War Crusher from Montreal. You should still be able to find it on Agit Punk. I see them pretty much every time they play in Montreal. They're good. They're playing Skullfest this year, so that'll be fun.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean they got good guitar playing. Lyrics are fun. Yeah, it's good. I don't know really what else to say. I like them. Nice
I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark here and say, do they sound like Bolt Thrower?
Yes, mixed with a bit of axe grinder, I'd say. Yes. Yeah. They're good. They're fun live. They sound like the record, so that's always good. They're recording right now. They're going to have another record out. And yeah, they're good.
Are you going to go see them at Skullfest?
What's that?
I said, are you going to go see them at Skullfest?
No. I'm going to go see them in Toronto. They're playing in July. I think that's their next. I don't think they're playing until then. I'm going to go see them some fest in Toronto. That should be fun. They're playing with Lifeless Dark, so that'll be good.
Lifeless Dark.
They're playing in Toronto with them.
Corey.
So that'll be fun. But
Chris Corey doesn't come on the show. He's a good friend of mine, and he won't come on. If you see him, tell him.
Yeah, come on the show, man.
Not only him, all the other members of the band, the other women in the band too, want to come on. But,
just a little short plane hop to Toronto.
Toronto's close to here.
Well, yeah.
That War Crusher record is like a big hit actually on the What Are You Listening To Facebook page. Like Matt O'Glennis loves it. A lot of people love that record. It's been posted like numerous times as far as I can remember. Yeah,
people like it. That's for sure. I'm happy for them. They're all friends of mine, so I'm happy they're doing good. I guess they went very happy for them. And
Walker, they're
good. Really good guitars.
Montreal band?
Yeah, they're all Montreal. They're a Montreal band, but no one's actually from Montreal in the band. But it's they all live here now, and it's based out of Montreal. So.
Oh, Emma, I think it's
Agit
Punk, right?
Yeah, Agit Punk with some other label. I can't. Oh, Desolate.
Desolate Records.
Yes.
Desolate Records. There
you go. They did a split kind of. Agit Punk kind of put it out, and then the other band, I got the other labels in the States, I guess.
Yeah. Yes. Desolate. Who does?
So they distribute it in the States, and Agit Punk did the Europe and the.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna just. I don't have it. I want it. Another Agit Punk record that I really want and I can't get. It's just.
Well, I can get it for you.
Really? It's that band Ego I'm talking about though, from Germany.
No, I don't know.
Like they just put out a new record on Agit Punk, and man, you just can't get it anywhere. And they're really good, like heavy, like the heaviest like post-punk band out there. I would say, like, and they have a new record, but that's also like an Agit punk thing.
And you can't get it, eh?
Can't get it. No,
That's not good.
Not good. No.
That sucks.
Yeah. The War Crusher record definitely made it here. I know that Revenge Records in Osaka definitely has that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair for fans of Hell Crusher and Warhammer.
And also War Crusher and Hellhammer.
Heavy record, right? Cheers, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you're drinking, I feel like it's this side is the drinking side.
Yeah,
I don't have any.
Ginger ale.
At least had water.
Maybe like slightly more metal this side as well. I want to say
That is definitely more metal side.
and I'm going to prove it with my next pick. Actually,
I'm a little.
I'm basically the 0% metal side. So yeah.
Hey, but how about this? Like, new wave of British heavy metal bands who aren't heavy metal.
Oh, interesting. Do it.
There's a few of them actually, if you really, really think about it, because there's a very wide scope of bands that are under that umbrella.
Yes.
I think maybe this band got lumped in there like after the fact. I'm not sure, but they do get called like a new wave of British heavy metal band. Birmingham, England. They formed in like 1977. They put out like 2 singles, one in 1979, one in 1980. They're not heavy metal at all, I will say. That's my opinion. They probably were playing with a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal bands. It's great. Their first single, let's remember they're from Birmingham. Their first single was on GBH Records. Which has nothing to do with GBH, but GBH were from Birmingham too, right? And it looks like that was the only thing that GBH Records put out, so I'm guessing it was like a self-release thing, and it came out in 1979. So they wouldn't have named it after GBH because that's too early, right? GBH was maybe a little bit later, but I just thought that was a nice touch that there was a band from Birmingham called GBH. Not called GBH, but a record label called GBH Records before GBH existed. Who am I talking about? You're thinking to yourselves.
Yes. Who is it?
I'm talking about the Jameson Raid.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
I've never heard of this band.
Look at that cover. Look at it. That's like damaged by Black Flag. Kind of. And then look at these dudes. Come on. What's not to like about these guys?
Oh, so cool, man.
Is one of them wearing a little
Daddy hat?
You know what? I was wondering about that this morning. He's wearing a uniform. Yes.
Oh.
Let's put it that way. But yeah, oh god. This I guess okay. Let me compose myself because I love this record so much. It's like the Jameson Raid from Birmingham. I guess this is like their 2 singles and some bonus tracks put on a record by High Roller. High Roller are amazing. They do like so many good reissues, and they do new like metal bands too. And you'll like this. Look at this. I guess I got like the deluxe or the Die Hard or whatever you want to call it. Look at that.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah. Very nice.
It sounds so much better than the blank. But like, it's great. You get like, the booklet. You get like another booklet. I'm bummed because it has like tons of photos and stuff, but it doesn't have any gig flyers. So I can't say, they played with Angel Witch. Oh, they played with Witchfinder General. There's no like gig flyers, so I have no proof of like what they did. Out there.
Maybe they never played.
They did do some. Look at that. You get the promo shot.
Oh yeah.
It looks like they kind of came back and they're active.
You know what? And you get the bonus 7-inch also.
That one guy looks like he's in crime.
Look at that. Come on. Look at that. Come on. You're thinking
what
yourself,
do they sound like?
that we'll get to that. Like it's like What do they sound like? Yes, good question. They definitely don't sound heavy metal. They definitely sound like a band. I mean, they formed in '77. It sounds like to me like guys who grew up on glam, which most of those guys did. But it's like very like glammy and kind of new wavy. And the singer like doesn't have like a heavy metal voice at all. He has more like a new wavy kind of vocal delivery. And every song is like super catchy, especially like side one. It like 7 Days of Splendor, It's a Crime, Catcher in the Rye. The Hypnotist is amazing, and The Raid is also amazing. So it's got like these like leftovers of like glam and Wishbone Ash, and then with like new wave thrown in there and like a bit of metal, I guess. But it's so great. This record is amazing. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
And I actually only realised this morning because I'm a bit slow on the uptake. They actually had a track on this kind of legendary compilation, Metal for Mothers. Not Volume 1, but Volume 1 had like Iron Maiden and Angel Witch on it and Samson, big bands. Volume 2 had like, lesser known bands like White Spirit. Yannick Gers was in White Spirit from Iron Maiden. He went on to be in Iron Maiden. That was his band. And Trespass, Horsepower. And then we've got a Jameson Raid song, and they called themselves The Raid on this record. So there you go.
Cool. That sounds right up my alley.
Honestly, like if you don't like heavy metal, you might like this record. It's totally like new wave, like glammy.
Yeah, I like new wave of British heavy metal. Though.
Me too. I mean, I love it all. I love like the worst bands. I love everything about like new wave.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Man, I'm exhausted after that.
That was a lot. That was a little
Very
history
exciting.
lesson.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's just one of those records. I like it so much, and I know that nobody else does.
Well, I've never heard it, so I'll have to have a listen.
It could be like a little bit. I mean, it's a kind of It's also from 2010. This reissue thing was from 2010. So it's out there, I guess, on the YouTubes, or Spotify's. Rachel.
So I'm gonna do a nepotism. For those who don't know me, my husband was in a lot of bands. He was in. Should I name them all? I don't know. He was in a lot of bands.
What a good band!
All the good ones.
He was in The Pissed, Caustic Christ, Behind Enemy Lines, Devastation. What other bands was he in? He's in The Dissidents, The Brood. This is my favorite band of his.
I was going to ask you. I was going to put you on the spot and say, "What's your favorite Bill band?" I was going to ask you.
Well, I have an answer to that. I don't feel like they're all my children and all equal. There's one that stands out. One that I think is not the most appreciated of his bands necessarily.
React. There you
go. React was like the band that he was in kind of like after he was in The Pissed and Mankind. I purposely left out Mankind when I listed his bands because I think people would probably guess that would be my favorite. But so Mankind was kind of like a peace punk band. The Pissed were kind of like street punk or whatever, like catchy punk music. React is like fucking like crust. Like it's like 90s crust with a man and a woman singing. Like fucking really, like I will say like the drums are too loud on this record. This record is like, but their drummer is amazing. Like he is like an unbelievably great and like does all this like fancy drums all over the place.
Nice.
They have a singer who's like an ecologist. Like that's his job. Like he's a naturalist. And he works with like fish. He's like into like fish and reptiles and amphibians. And there's songs about like sung from the point of view of a salmon. And,
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the live, they were like just one of the most. He is. It's God. This album is called Deus Ex Machina.
There you go.
Which means God from the machine. So that's God. And he's like, oh fuck. But yeah, it's translated on the back. God from a machine. But yeah, I love this band, and this is like there was a whole like musical scene in this like weird kind of semi-rural part of northwestern Connecticut where I grew up. Because like there was like all the people in React were also in like Hail of Rage. When State of Fear started, they were from this part of Connecticut and they moved to Minneapolis later. Actually, Pete, the drummer of React, was the original drummer of State of Fear. Sasquatch. I forgot what, like Those Poor Bastards. There's another like big deal one that I'm forgetting the name of right now. Bill's probably sending me messages like, oh. And actually, I'm going to throw in an extra record here because I don't know when it was, like maybe 10 more 15 years ago, some people from Western Mass put out this record called Torrington, which is Torrington style crust. Torrington, Connecticut is where like many of the members of React lived. It's like a shitty little like maybe it's a city but just barely kind of town. It was like the big town. It was the big town near where I lived in Homestead, Connecticut, which no one even from Connecticut has heard of. But yeah, like I was so like they have the record label is you'll recognize this it's called Soviet State, but it's like the tribal war logo. Like it's just this is like a pan to like 90s dual vocal crust that sings about ecology and steals a lot of like culturally appropriates a lot of like indigenous imagery and like but yeah, it's like this whole that like I'm very very sentimental about this particular kind of punk. And yeah, this record is like the songs are really really good. I will say like the recording it doesn't capture what they were like.
Is it? You said the drums are too loud. I can almost imagine what they sound like when you said that.
What's that? Oh, the drums are too loud.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yep. But yeah, it's great band. And yeah, my favorite Bill band. Oh, and this band, this Torrington thing, I forget who else is in the band, but Will Killingsworth of Orchid and also like mastering everybody's records.
Mr. Master, yeah.
In this band.
Nice.
But yeah, I was tickled pink when I saw that someone had made a tribute record to Torrington. Torrington's the kind of place where when you're a teenager and you like need something to do on a Saturday night, you go to like a parking lot. Like it's like if some kids go to like the grocery store or maybe the McDonald's parking lot, and there's like different factions of parking lot kids. It's like that's
Torrington.
But it had a great crust scene in the mid-90s.
Maybe they did gigs in a car park on. All right. Okay, Anne, what's your next pick?
All right. People tuning in now are going to be like, "Why is she wearing those ears?" All right, here we go. Okay, wait. Let me get this prepped for the movement of the records down again. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is the next one. Okay. This is very new to me, like super. This is like I got this like in the last month, and I am obsessed with it. And it is called. The band is called. Let me try to say it because this is long. Sistema de Entretenimiento. Okay, here we go. All right, you see that? And it's on red vinyl. It's in there somewhere. And it comes with this really, really big fold-out poster.
Whoa.
There you go. Good luck
That's
with
like craft.
Like, yeah,
Except
like,
it's not the record cover.
Oh,
Whoa.
Whoa.
okay. So let me now. This is really like indicative of what we're talking about here. But let me fold that back up. Okay.
That's like
This
Japanese
one.
anime.
he looks
Okay.
like he's
So
wearing Star Trek suit.
yeah, it is like Japanese anime, and it's almost and it's almost like and like it's they call themselves arcade punk. It says it right there. So that's
Arcade
must
punk.
be true. Arcade punk. Think of them as like an arcade punk slash anime theme song band, all synthy, but like punk also like with
Wow.
awesome singing. And this has like 26 songs on it, and
Right.
it compiles like everything they put out like on band camps and
Mm.
Spotify's and all that stuff. And then they released this vinyl. It's on Flexi Discos Records, and this band is from Barcelona.
Wow.
So um talking about cultural appropriation, I don't know about cultural appropriation because it's like anime, and that's kind of like what I don't know. We've got a wiggly line. It's wibbly wobbly.
Wibbly,
um
wibbly
wibbly
wobbly.
wobbly. So this band is from Spain, and um they are singing in Spanish, and they are doing that cover. And they have the big poster that looks like my son is like super into anime, and like this looks like something that he would be interested in, like
Uh-huh.
when you open up the poster and all that. But it's like synthy, and it's like plink 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 plink, and it sounds like video game arcade sounds, but it's also awesome and punk, and also could be filed under egg punk, maybe egg punk adjacent.
Egg
It
punk
keeps
adjacent.
coming up in Spotify
The
under
Yoshi
egg punk
egg.
playlist. So I don't know, whatever. Also, I have no problem listening to Spotify because I buy so many things and support many, many bands. So
Exactly.
sometimes I use that as a way to get to know what I want to buy, because that's how I discovered this band.
Mm.
And I just think it's amazing, and it's like I'm delighted with it, and it makes me happy, and it's just like blink, 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 and it's wonderful, and I love it. And it's kind of like my favorite thing right now. And
Wow.
also ordered that like from their Bandcamp, and I have no idea where it came from, and it took like a month to get here, but I super love it.
Is this real? The split with Elvis Strauss is really good.
I have no idea what that means.
Me neither.
Because I felt that this was their only like physical release, but I don't know.
No.
What's Elvis Strauss? I don't
Yeah,
even know what
Stephen,
that is.
reveal yourself. What are you talking about there? What are you talking about with the Elvis Strauss?
Elvis. Oh, it's real because it is also on two labels, I think, and I
Ah,
think the second label that it's on is what Elvis Strauss is released on, and there it is. Yep,
wow.
Fast Food Records, Synth Devo Core.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Here, wait. I like to read what it says on the Bandcamp. I always like to see how they describe themselves. So yeah, like on this record, how do they describe it as 1980s punk, synth punk, trash? Yeah, there you go.
I like that kind of anime aspect and with the Japanese obi and stuff. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. This is like seriously like my favorite record of the moment. And I actually had gotten another record recently. That's my other favorite record, but I noticed that someone had talked about it
oh
recently. Mujeres Podridas.
Oh,
oh
that's
yeah yeah
Um,
yeah.
so that's my other favorite record right now. Those two are pretty much if I don't listen to anything else for like the next month, but these two records I'm fine with that.
Have you ever
Wow.
seen Mujeres Podridas live? Oh, they're
Nope.
so good. You must see them the next time they
All
come
right.
around.
I'll check
One of
it
them
out.
lives in Philly, so they do play
Oh,
here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the guy
that's
is also in
awesome.
Tosca. I forgot his name.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Vasco members, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so now we have to check out Elvis Strauss and see what that's all about. But yeah, so this band is current and they play. Like I saw that they have shows like in Madrid and Barcelona. So they don't get involved with this egg punk versus chain punk. I personally like both egg punk and chain
Yeah, you
punk,
can
and
do both.
I have listened to literally every egg punk and chain punk playlist on Spotify that has ever been made, and I'm delighted with every single band and song that I have discovered through those playlists.
Yeah. Let's not. We can be chain and egg.
We totally can. We can be Nikki Corvette and Discharge.
Or neither.
We can be
neither. No.
Okay, Emma, what's your next pick?
I'm gonna go for another Chumbawamba band that I like a lot.
Oh,
that's a very good record. I like it a lot.
It's classic.
I have it tattooed on me, the cover, but the original cover, so it's red. The background's red. Very good record. I don't know. This must be a repress. I got no idea. Can't read it. Too small. Very good record. A lot of good songs. Stormtrooper song's pretty good. I don't know really what else to say about this record. I like it a lot.
Let's slow down. Tank, Filth Hounds of Hades.
So good.
New wave of British heavy metal classic.
Yes.
Algie Ward, X the Damned, right?
It's good.
Yeah, I knew like Kevin's he's a metal fella, so.
Yeah.
Hi, Kevin. They came to Japan actually about 4 years ago, but like it was like only like one.
Yeah, the other version. They got two tanks going now playing.
They had like Algie's tank. He was putting records out solo. Algie. There's 2 albums of him. Like hey, like let's talk about those. That I've got one of them actually on vinyl.
It's
the
good?
Algie Ward tank sounds like Gizm or something.
Oh.
Because like he played all the instruments and it's all like digital and stuff. So it's got this weird like digital like drum sound and the guitar sound. If you've heard like the third Gizm record, the guitar tone on those Algie Ward solo records sounds like that Gizm. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. It sounds like nothing. It sounds nothing like the old.
Yeah, I bet.
Have I been pronouncing that wrong, or do we just say that word differently?
It's pronounced Gizm.
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 Oh yeah, you would know.
In my head, I've been saying it wrong.
Gizm. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Gizm's really good too, though. I could have picked Gizm as well. So good. But Tank, very good.
I have. Hey, check it out. That's weird. I happen.
Yes, that's the one I have tattooed on my leg because that's the original cover.
With the Obi, it's missing the 7-inch. The original had a bonus 7-inch with it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh nice. I don't have no Tank 7-inch.
Pink fairies. Yeah, as the original UK. The original.
Yeah,
Here's the German one with the.
That's the one I have.
There you go.
The yellow one.
There you go.
You're one of those guys.
I feel like I have one more. Let's have some Tank talk for a little bit. And then this is one of the weird like Algie Ward Tank.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, this is the one I'm saying is crazy.
Okay.
All instruments by Algie Ward. Breath of the Pit.
I'll have to give it a go.
Fucking crazy record. Yeah. Anyway, Tank are definitely probably not the best, but definitely top 3 new wave of British heavy metal bands for sure. They're a bit in a higher tier than the Jameson Raid.
Well, it's different. They're a bit more metal, I suppose.
They're kind of punky too, because Algie Ward was in the Damned, so
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that as someone who doesn't metal that much. That's why I like new wave of British heavy metal, because it has punk influence.
Right, and it has like this kind of DIY feel to it, and all the people that were making it came from like glam and stuff. Like, you know, they're of that like generation that like grew up on glam and stuff. So it doesn't sound like macho like heavy metal. It sounds different, right? Like,
yeah.
Well,
oh God, it's my turn again.
Yes.
I haven't recovered from my last turn yet. Hang on. Let me have a drink.
Cheers.
I think I've asked this question before, and actually I don't need to ask it for this pick, but I'm going to anyway. Like, how far do we go with like Discord records? Like, how far into like the discography can we like safely go?
As far as you want, man.
I mean, you know, like for me, it was definitely about like. In fact, I can put a date on it because I looked it up. Like I want to say like 87, 88. Like was what in like real time, like, you know, Ignition bands like that, right? That was like as far as I went. And Soul Side, Ignition, 3.
I will stand solidly behind Slant 6.
Okay,
that's the 90s.
Actually, it's weird because I got those. What was the record? The Dots, the Casual Dots. And I heard them before I heard Slant 6. I'm a bit out of order with that, but why are we talking about this era of Discord? Well, let's find out. So, I kind of like that era. Like, I was listening to a lot of it at that time, like that State of the Union compilation and like Fire Party and all those kind of bands. Like, I love that stuff at the time.
Yeah. Well, it's also like our age, like we're close in age. Like that was like probably a time when we were like starting to like buy our own records. Like we have college, we have jobs. I went to Washington D.C. on my very first ever drive by myself, little road trip with friends to D.C. And I was like, I have to buy a Discord record in D.C. I must. That is like an imperative. I'm going to D.C. And I mean, it wasn't even a record. I bought a tape because at the time I was into tapes. But I bought 2 tapes actually. I bought Minor Threat Out of Step on cassette, and I bought Dag Nasty We Got It Denkos, which I will stand by any day. I'll throw down forever with that album. I don't care what anyone says. Don't tell me it's wimpy.
No. I like one of those better than the other. Guess which one I like better than the other?
We Got It Denkos?
Yeah, Dag Nasty. Yeah. I know it's a crazy opinion.
I love Dag Nasty. And like I said, I went to DC and I was like, I must. But that's the only thing I bought in the record store was those 2 things, because that's what you do when you go to DC.
I'd like to do that someday.
And it was like 87, or right when We Got It Denkos came out.
Yeah, right. So like
right when it came
to
out.
Like 1986 me, who couldn't afford to buy the Squirrel Bait record. He only had a tape of it. Now I'm balling. I'm buying Ignition records. And like 2 years later, you know. Yeah, I remember like the Ignition record, all that stuff. Hold that thought. Like 1988, 1987, like Discord records. Now, Trevor Vaughan. Do we know who Trevor Vaughan is?
I know who Trevor Vaughan is.
He is a man who has been in a lot of bands, and one of the best bands he's been in or is still in is Wound Man.
I know that band.
Yeah, right. That's Trevor Vaughan is in that band. They put out like this fucking ugly kind of like power violence record from last year. It's actually one of my favorite records from last year. So Trevor Vaughan,
Iron Lung or something.
Yes, it's an Iron Lung thing. It's like super ugly, like power violence. He was also in the Rival Mob, which is like an ugly hardcore band. He was also in Internal. That's his band. He was also in the X-Files X. He was in that band too.
God, yeah.
Wait. Actually, I've never heard that band, but I love that Wound Man record. So, bearing in mind the fact that he was in like the Rival Mob and Wound Man, it might be a surprise to find out he made a record that sounds like Ignition and Embrace and Fire Party and all those like 87, 88 disco bands, and they do it so well. I mean, if you close your eyes, you would think it was like a 1987, 1988 Discord release. It's this band, Springtide. Yeah. And it's a bunch of recordings that they did. I mean, some of it's like, I don't know, 2018, 2019. I think one of them came out on a tape. Some of the recordings came out on a tape. There might be a lathe cut or something, but like this is like all of like the recordings that they made. And Trevor Vaughan did all the music. He plays all the instruments. And then this other guy, what's his name? I looked it up. What's his name? Martin Johnson is his name. Does the vocals, and he sounds just like Alec Mackay. It's quite astonishing. It's just these two guys doing like Ignition, Revolution Summer, Embrace, 1987, 1988 Discord records.
I have a feeling if you put out something like that now, people would be all over it, where they would not have been so much 6 years ago.
To me, it just took me right back to what Anne was just talking about, and it's like it's so well done. It's like undeniable to me. In the songs, like all the songs are amazing. They only made 300 of these, so I don't think there's much of a demand for it. But it's on Blind Rage Records, which is kind of a popular like, hardcore punk label. So yeah, these two guys doing some like old 87, 88 Discord stuff. It just completely blew me away. But,
I'm in. I'm gonna look for it, or at least look for like listening to it, even if I can't find that record.
Yeah, I mean it's all on the Spotify and the YouTube, I think. So. Yeah, spring, but like Googling this was a nightmare. Like Springtide, and the record was called Collection. So I was getting all these like horrible fashion things coming up with like Spring Collection. It's like, anyway, so it's a bit of a Googling nightmare.
Yeah, you really got to factor in Googleability when you
right. It's like we were talking about with this show. You've got to have the right words in. Like,
get keywords.
I think that band Gel on Blind Rage Records.
You know what? I think they might be. You know what? I think they might be. Yeah. It's a pretty established label, right? Blind Rage. So. Yeah, Trevor Vaughan. I've been talking to him. I think it's amazing that he did that. It's amazing. Yeah. All right. Cool. That's my last pick. I'm done. I can sit back and drink some beer. All right, Rachel, what's your next pick?
Okay. My next pick was also inspired by recent episode. Maybe it was even last week.
Ooh.
Or the week. I don't know. It was a recent episode of What Are You Listening To? The popular YouTube.
Terrible name. With the terrible name.
It doesn't have buzzwords in the name.
Where Chumbawamba came up for some reason. I think because I brought them up. And in the chat. I've actually I guess it's now a tradition. I've shown something Chumbawamba related every time. It's never been Chumbawamba before. But people are talking about Chumbawamba and the breadth and variety of their 30-year, 40-year, however many years, 30 years that they were around. And someone was like, oh yeah, and they put out that record of like Gregorian chants or whatever. And they didn't put out a record of Gregorian chants. But they did put out a record of a cappella folk songs from the 14th century to like the teens, called English Rebel Songs, and it has like so much information about all the songs on it, because make sure you understand the history of the 1381 Peasants Revolt, and Wat Tyler. That's, if you've ever heard of Wat Tyler, that guy is from history.
Yeah, and he's not the big bloke in that band from.
Yeah, he's not just Fat Bob, like whatever.
Fat Bob.
But yeah, this is actually the only Chumbawamba record I owned for a really long time. Like I actually really only got into them like right around when they were breaking up. Like I'd always kind of heard bits and pieces here and really liked them, but this is the only record that I actually owned. And it's fantastic. It is all a cappella, and it's all like political songs from throughout history. There's like the later songs are kind of like labor songs. There's songs about the Luddites, who were actually a labor movement and not, like the common term, the common idea now of the Luddites being just like anti-technology is actually like a real simplification of people who are like fighting against the Industrial Revolution, taking away people's jobs. And yeah, like the Diggers, who are like an anarchisty movement, and the Chartists, and the Boys Who Smashed the Van, which is like an Irish rebel song. And yeah, it's just like it's all really beautifully done. And I was on a mission today, which I failed in, which I was going to fuck with you, Mike, and show a CD.
Oh no!
I would have risked everything to show
Has
this
been
CD.
done, and I'm very angry with that man to this day.
Yeah,
No.
well, you're lucky because I actually like special ordered it from a record store and it didn't come in. Like it was with their delivery. But they re-recorded it in like 2005 or something like that, because I think they were just kind of like, some of the songs, like the notes are very wonky and don't like sound that good. So in 2005 they re-recorded it with like better vocals and added a couple of songs, including a song from the miners' strikes in 1984. And another song which I'm not sure where it comes from actually, but it's like one of my favorite songs ever, called The Bad Squire. But yeah, anyway, Chumbawamba, such a good band. I celebrate every moment.
The entire catalog.
Maybe not their entire, a lot of it. Up through the very last album has great songs on it. It's not, the very last album is like a bit of a stinker, but it has like, but also has one, but it has one of my favorite songs by them on it at the same time. So, and I showed, the first time I was on here, I showed Commoners Choir's Crass remix of G's song.
That's yes, yeah.
Which is like, Commoners Choir is Boff Wally from Chumbawamba's choir from Leeds, and they're like, they're like a super political choir, like super. They have a song called like Boris Johnson's Head on a Pole and stuff like that. So, yeah, they're still up to it. I like. There's a lot to say about them. A lot to say about them. But I have great respect for them, and I love their music, and I love that they did like a giant pop dance hit, and like super peace punk and anarcho punk stuff, and like a cappella folk music that is just as radical as anything else that they did.
Have you seen the documentary yet? You have, right?
I hosted a screening of it.
You did, yes. So you have seen it. Yes.
It's good. It's not quite what you'd expect. It's not a straight, maybe it is what you'd expect. It's not a straightforward documentary about Chumbawamba, really. It's more about Dunstan, who made the movie, and like coping with the idea of being like getting older and trying to be in the music industry, and also trying to have principles, and like feeling like, was what you did like actually worthwhile at all? And like, but while telling the story of Chumbawamba, because it was a major part of his life, but it is like, it's a little bit, a friend of mine went to a screening of it, and Attila the Stockbroker was there, and the Q&A, he was just like, Dunstan, you just made a movie that's about your midlife crisis. But it's not, I mean, he kind of owns it. That's what he's doing. So. Anyway, I enjoyed it, but it was like, it was kind of like they did a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter or whatever to like finance it, and kind of plugged it as like, now the story of Chumbawamba will be properly told, and it's like, no, it doesn't.
No,
like it doesn't even get into like. And then
I don't want to hear about the squat days in Leeds and when they play with Heresy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, they talk about the squat days in Leeds, but more about like what they were doing in the squat, not so much like who they were playing with, and like, yeah.
Anne, it's your last pick.
Okay, I'm going off camera for a second.
Okay.
All right.
Costume change. I don't. I'm not a big Chumbawamba fan.
That's okay.
I know. Maybe you know what, maybe I should give him another go, like from the beginning, like start from the discography again, because I didn't like him in real time. I'm much older now, so here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Oh!
Wow, that was fast.
There you go.
Okay, I started with the listenware and I had to end with the listenware. And I'm ending, if this really is the ending, with a very classic record that is one of my number one all-time favorite records of all time, forever and ever and ever and ever. And it is wonderful, 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 wonderful. So here we are, listenware. It is the Revillos.
Yeah, I love that you have a Vertigos shirt. Like,
oh my gosh. Revillos are like at the very top of my, my list of hundreds of millions of all-time favorite bands. The Revillos are very, very high at the top of that list. All right, so that's not going to fit there. So I'll just put that in front of that. Okay, so here we are. Why am I talking about the Revillos? They are one of my favorite bands, and so many people love the Rezillos, and I too love the Rezillos. And if you aren't aware, that the Rezillos, when they ended, the two main singers, Eugene and Faye, went on and said, "Let's start a new band. It's called the Revillos," and
For
they're not
real?
exactly the same. And lots of people are like, "Oh, the Rezillos were punk and really good, and Revillos aren't that good." That is a lie. At least a lie to me. Because as much as I love the Rezillos, I prefer the Revillos
Oh wow. Okay.
because they're a little bit more fun and a little bit more like yay, and they have backup dancers, Fifi and Trixie, and they're just like, I know the Rezillos are amazing. I love them. I love all their records. I love the bass, but the Revillos are just fun and upbeat and just a delight. I said delight a lot tonight, but I'm saying it anyway. I don't care. And super fun, and they have the best costumes. And let me show you again. I was gonna maybe pick their second album, but like they dress really cool. I haven't gotten the hang of showing the record.
No, it's fine. It's perfect.
Oh, it looks
They
good.
dress really cool. They have
Yeah.
awesome outfits, and they have like just a whole sort of like spacey kind of theme. I mean, they're not like space, but Motorbike Beat. I mean, how could you not think that's the greatest song? And it's just wonderful and fun. And I never got to see the Revillos live, and they sometimes play still, like in the UK, but the Revillos haven't come over here to the US like since like the beginning of time. I did get to see the Rezillos a bunch of times when they came, and that was really fun. So
Nice.
for that. But
So
I do want to see the Rezillos.
the Revillos are before the Rezillos?
No, Rezillos came first, and then they broke up. And like one of the guys like ended up going to the Human League, and he like was a co-writer on like "Don't You Want Me" and some other very large hits
I
of
did
theirs.
not know that.
Yeah. And then also somehow the Heaven 17 also related to that split and weirdness. I can't remember that. But yeah, so then Revillos was the two singers, Faye and Eugene, and it's just fun and just so great and wonderful. And like when my niece was a baby, like I made a tape of Revillos and played it for her all the time, and it was just like fun to play for like a baby too, even though I love it. And like when my son was born, my son doesn't like my kind of music so much, but I tried and I played that for him then too. And that didn't really work out so good, but anyway, they're just the greatest, and they released two albums like during that time period. So this is like, I forget when this came out. Maybe 1980.
19. Wow, that early.
1980, yeah. So the Rezillos were already done by 1980, and this was out. And
That's
then they have a
earlier than I-
second album, which I'm not talking about today, but I just happen to have right here called Attack. And this actually has this song that I think was the very first song I ever heard of theirs, called Man Attack. That was played on WLIR. So I grew up in New York, and I, thank God, found this radio station WLIR that like saved my life from like terrible popular radio. And that song Man Attack is so great, and they played that, and I'm pretty sure that was like the first thing I knew of this band. So I encourage everyone to like go out and watch a live show of Revillos, because it's just so fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
I mean, I've been actually afraid to go because I love the Rezillos so much. I've been like afraid, and there's a Revillos
Don't-
record that I think got released in Japan, and it has like it's a 12 inch. It's like has a light blue, and it's in the
Yeah, they have It's Like Totally Alive.
that's the one, yeah. And you see it in the cheap bins all the time. Or like, why is it in the cheap bins?
Here's what I would say:
Quiet.
you could buy it, but that's a little bit later. So I
Right,
wouldn't
it's late
start.
80s, early 90s, maybe, right?
If it's really cheap, file it for a while, buy it and file it, but don't listen to that until
Gotcha.
you love them so much that you just
I'm
want to
ready for
hear
that one.
everything.
Right.
Don't buy
Gotcha.
it.
These are the two.
Those
These
two.
are the
Okay.
two. Rev Up and Attack
Noted.
is
Got it.
like, yeah, and Man Attack from it's. I was like, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. When I was in high school, like I said, I found this WLIR radio station, and I loved it so much, and I like would tape like stuff off the radio, but then I would like tape it so that it played and played and played the same song over and over again, because when you taped off the radio, the DJ was talking on the intro or the outro. They always
Yeah.
did that. Or like I lived in Queens, and the radio station was out on Long Island, and sometimes it was fuzzy. So sometimes you didn't get a clean tape because it fuzzed a little bit, and I'd have to like tape a hanger onto the antenna and like stick it out the window of my apartment
God,
to try to get the station.
I used to do that with John Peel, and I used to do it with Tommy Vance, who was the rock DJ. That's where I discovered like Tank and Angel Witch. Same way on the radio, and I went to a boarding school, so I was like in a transistor radio earpiece
I
under
had
the
that
pillow.
little white earplug.
Yes, but it still sounded amazing.
It was amazing. But yeah, so I would listen to this. Like I would go up on the roof of my apartment building. You're not supposed to go on the roof of your apartment building, but like when it was like warm, I would bring my radio up there and like a towel and like sunbathe. And I just remember listening to that song Man Attack that I had taped like 7 times in a row, like over and over again, and like dancing around. It was just a great memory.
That's beautiful. That's the first time I've ever seen anyone like speak so passionately about the Revillos. I'm
Oh
all
my
in.
gosh.
I'm all in.
Anybody who's like, oh, Brazillos are they're punk, they're not punk. Poo poo.
Yeah, it's like those idiots who say Dag Nasty are better than Minor Threat. What do they know?
Oh, well, I'm in. I'm with you.
Right.
I'm in.
Right.
But listen, you put those first 2 Dag Nasty. I bought later the first 2, like it was like one of my first ever CDs. Is that a dirty word?
No,
It was
no,
the
you can
first
say
2
it.
Dag Nasty albums together. Can
Oh, yeah,
I say? And We Got It Dingoes on one CD.
beautiful.
I mean, if I never had to buy another CD for the rest of my life, that one CD is
That's the
enough.
Desert Islands CD.
Totally, for CDs. That's
Are
all I
we?
need.
Are we in? Are we in? Field Day? Are we in?
I'm fine with Field Day.
Beautiful.
I'm bringing out Field Day. I got and now Field Day. This new Field Day. Is that what you're talking about? Like the new?
No, the Dag Nasty
No,
album,
no.
Field Day.
Yeah. I got it. I got it right here, baby. D. Where's D? Down there. Just Chumbawamba. I just pulled out. I got Field Day. I got it.
Yeah, I can't reach it, but I have Attack over there. But I never even seen like a copy of Rev Up.
Oh my gosh.
Ever.
You know what's funny?
Like,
I didn't have Attack I realized that I never had it. I never had the original like pressing of it, and only got that's a reissue. I only got that like within the last like year. I found it in New York, and I saw it and I didn't buy it, and then I like texting my friends Ron and Tony, who like are super Revillos fans, and I'm like, please go back to that store. I saw it. I don't know why I didn't buy it. Please, can you just go back to
Into
the
that
store for
feeling.
me and get it for me, and I'll pay you back. And they're like, of course. And they did.
I got mine at Philly Record Exchange, like not, I don't know. I guess it was like 8 years ago at this point, but not that long ago.
I'm feeling confident. I reckon I can get a copy of that within the next 3 or 4 weeks from a record store in my city.
I mean, either one would be fine with you to start with for the album.
But not the blue, the light blue.
But
I should get
not
that, but file it, not
totally
listen to
alike.
it.
File it away. Forget about it for a couple of years. Stick with these first two. You will be happy. And just be ready to have fun.
I'm
fun.
ready. I'm always ready to have fun. Always.
That's what it's all about.
All right, Emma.
Oh, I took my ears off for that.
talking about having fun. How about this guy? Oh.
What?
What is it?
Fighting.
It threw me. That's Thin Lizzy fighting, but the American cover.
It's so good. Talking about having fun. It's so good. I don't know what to say about this record except it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful record. I like it. I've been listening to it a lot. That and Bad Reputation all week. Just can't get enough. The Rosalie song, I just changed the lyrics to Sydney, and it's all good. Yes?
It always makes me laugh how that's like the American cover, right, for that record.
I wouldn't know, but yes.
What? The proper. It's great. I want it because it's different. But the one, it's called Fighting, right? But they're not fighting on
they're not.
One.
They're smiling.
On the UK one, they're holding like metal bars and they're ready to fight on the cover. But apparently, that was deemed inappropriate for the American market.
America's safe.
Yeah, it's weird, right? But I want that version because it's because it's got the alternate sleeve, right? But that record. It's that to me, like that record is the beginning of like the real Thin Lizzy. Like everything that came before it was like leading up to that one, and that's where they kind of got like their like signature sound is from on Fighting, because the early ones are too wishy-washy and folky. Nightlife is a little bit mellow. That's when it all gets going on there.
Yeah, I've been listening a lot of Thin Lizzy, and this one's very good. Very happy with the. I only have 3 on vinyl, but this one's very good.
That's one of the best ones for sure. And Black Rose, good one.
I don't have it yet, but someday.
You will.
I will. For
it will be yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's almost St. Patrick's Day, so it's very appropriate.
Yeah, very appropriate. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you guys an assignment that you have to help me learn about Thin Lizzy then, because
you would like Thin Lizzy. It's not too much.
The
real late stuff, like Thunder and Lightning, is real. That's like their last record. That's real heavy metal. But like
that's
that
like
era,
one of the better ones. But yeah, I mean, it's so heavy. I mean, it's heavy. It's good. You love Thin Lizzy. It's so good.
All right. Wait, I know that one song, but that's the only one I know. I literally don't know anything else.
There's some real like nice deep cuts on like all of their records. You know, of course they got like the classic hits. You know, but some real good deep cuts on that, like that run of records in the like early to late 70s is beautiful. You know, and it's not heavy metal. It's just nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's a good way to describe it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, one of a kind band. There's nobody sounds like this.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. A good way to describe it, I find. Beautiful and heavy.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it has like a pop sensibility to it or whatever, but it's aggressive, you know? Like, I mean, some of it is, some of it's not. Some of it's just straight up like...
like ballads beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil Lynott was super into like Americana and stuff, and and soul music and
I mean, in my 20s, I would have never listened to Thin Lizzy ever. But now I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I was prejudiced against them for a really long time because my cousins are British, and I thought they were like the dorkiest dorks. And like I remember like in like the early 90s asking my cousin like what kind of music he was into. He was like, I don't know, I like Nirvana and I like Thin Lizzy. And I was like, Thin Lizzy? That sounds so dumb. And then like for years I didn't listen to it. I recently asked him, I was like, so you were into like Thin Lizzy? He's like, I just went into a record store and I asked the record store guy what I should listen to. And he said Thin Lizzy. So then I told you that was my favorite band.
Yeah.
And also, I happen to know, being a child of the 80s with British cousins, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles weren't allowed to have like nunchucks and stuff because of like anti-violence. So I'm sorry, like maybe we censored the Thin Lizzy cover, but you guys censored Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they had to be called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because ninjas are too violent.
Really? That's
and they're
awesome.
Japanese.
Yeah.
That's a great way. Finishing off the show with a classic. What more could you ask for?
Well, I have to do one more record.
You have a bonus round.
It's a birth. Yeah. Do you want to do a bonus round? I mean,
I won't.
I don't have any here.
You're
I can go get one, but go ahead.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome to do so.
Like, this is a birthday record for you.
For me?
For you.
Thank you.
This is in your honor. This is a band that, like, was it the first band? Yes, the first band that Emma showed, where they started as punk band, and I will say they were a very good punk band. I wouldn't say that they weren't good as a punk band, but as they progressed and became different, they didn't become metal or hard rock as many punk bands did, but they progressed in a different direction. And it's
The Freeze. Yes.
The Freeze.
Oh, nice.
Misery Loves Company. I love this album. It's like it's pop music. It's so fun. They're so good at it. Like it's just like it's this like I don't know what, like the guitars sound like 80s pop. Everything does. But it's still got like the cliffhanger lyrics, like it's still got like the dark hard edge lyrics, and it's like it's so good, it's so catchy, and like I think this record is finally starting to like get its due. Anyway, I know you
people like appreciate like how what an amazing like record that is. It's unbelievably great. Yeah. Cape Cod, not Boston. This is Cape Cod, not Boston. Actually, let's talk about this after the show. It's a bit dark. Let's not go there. Let's finish off on a high note with The Freeze. Misery Loves Company. The Freeze. That's like 1990.
1990. Same year as Feel the Darkness.
Right? Incredible. That was actually in the house I was living at the time, man. We played that record and Feel the Darkness like to death. We loved like both those records at that time. They're as good as each other. There it is. I've said it. They're as good as each other, I would say. Different, of course. Yeah. All right, let's finish it up. Let me announce next week's show. It's a good one next week. It's always a good show. But next week, Kevin Lopez from Toskos is back. Jeff Young from Public Acid, and what other bands is he in? He's in loads of bands. Public Acid, and Dan Granado's back. He loves coming on. Can't get rid of him. Now he's been on. From Final Guerra. Has Final Guerra ever played like one of the?
Final?
Yes, them Guerra Final. Yes. Have they ever played like one of the festivals that we were talking about, like Skullfest, or what's the Montreal one?
I think they've played Skullfest. They've definitely toured the United States.
Yeah.
But,
Great band. Great band.
yeah.
Great people. So make sure you tune in, everybody. Next Friday, March 22nd, episode 67. It's going to be a good show. As always, thanks to everyone who was watching. We're going to stick around for a little bit.
Thanks for having us, Mike. That was fun.
Let's do it again.
Yeah,
We'll chat. Let's not. I'll stop the recording and then we'll chat a little bit, like after the show. So until next time, stay healthy and
keep listening to
stay,
awesome music.